Hey, it's Bill, and you're tuned into the Pennsylvania Rock Show, featuring the best unsigned rock and metal that Pennsylvania has to offer, right here on PARockshow.com, MegaRockRadio.net, 107.1 FM, St. Louis, Missouri, AltRockRadio.ca, Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, RootarooRadio.com on the beaches of San Diego, xrpradio.co.uk in Birmingham, United Kingdom, and right here in the thriving metropolis of Leechburg, Pennsylvania, BillDecine.com. My name is Bill. This is episode number 585. With me tonight are Kevin, Dave, and John from 9 Sundays. What's up, gentlemen?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. That hesitation there made me go, oh no, my mic's not working again.
We want to talk over each other. I can tell we're being very polite. Usually we would all talk at the same time. So yeah, nice to be here.
So I'm gonna do what I normally do and start off with some cliche type questions you normally hear on a radio show, and then we'll get to the stuff that I really usually ask. So we'll start off first with, where did the name 9 Sundays come from?
Yeah, John, you can take that one. That's your thing from you. So,
that came from us only being able to practice on Sundays at 9:00
a.m.
A.m.
Yeah. So we went from coffee to waking up to coffee at practice.
Oh yeah, it was good. I mean, that worked. It worked.
And actually,
well.
it was John's wife that came up with the idea. If I'm correct, we were kicking around ideas, and she brought it up, and we were like, "Huh, that was good."
Yep.
So, I have in my local music folder, "Beautiful Day" and "Get Me a Beer," which means I have interacted with somebody at some point.
Yeah, that'd have probably been me. Yeah, I sent those. I sent those a couple years ago, I think. Yeah.
And when I got the message, I think it was an email this time, which I don't usually get emails, and I was like, "Yeah, definitely, we can do this." You guys missed out on the live from my living room stuff, but you get the new work with the camera thing that I just started when the pandemic happened.
Yeah, that would have been cool. That would have been real cool. If you get that back up, back up, let us know.
I don't think my wife is gonna go along with that again. when we were in our 20s and didn't have any kids.
Yeah.
But the kid thing kind of put a kibosh on that. And not the first one. When we had one, it worked out. But then when we had a 26-month-old and twin newborns, that was it. No more live shows.
Ouch.
Yeah, I can understand that for sure.
So your album, I'm going to say recently, but I saw the date was 2020. When did it get released, the new one?
August of this year, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
The tags said 2020. I'll fix them before I do anything with them.
Yeah. We started on it last summer, I believe. We were actually probably a little earlier than that, and we finally got it CD in hand and everything up on all the streaming in August, I believe, right?
Yep.
I believe we tried to release it 1 month prior to our CD release, so we had it out on 9/2. So that was the date we decided to give everybody a little time to listen to before our show. So
now the album is entitled Face Down, and I can think of many reasons that might be a title, but I'm gonna let you guys tell me where that came from.
Kevin, you can talk about that one.
So we were kind of kicking around ideas for a title, and
we had about 60 names, I'd say.
Yeah, and so the opening line to the song "Martyr" is "Face down in the gutter again," and we're on a Zoom call, and John throws out, "Well, why don't we just call it Face Down?" We all thought that was a great idea. Which of course, face down is the whole line. Face down in the gutter again is just bad decisions have kind of put us where we are. And that's kind of the message behind the song. So it really is fitting to kind of carry that over to the record.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, agreed 100%.
And we had the decision process. We had so many titles because we were going through COVID and all the lockdown, and we're in Zoom calls, and we had all these titles, and we were like, you know what, this is something we don't want to have to every time we see this CD is think of that. So let's maybe not focus on that again. So we wiped out about 90% of the titles right there.
So that kind of leads me to a question that I ask quite a bit. So let's say, and it's not a stretch, let's say there's an apocalyptic event. You've heard that one, right? I asked it last week. Yeah. There's an apocalyptic event, and only a handful of people survive, and those people have to repopulate the earth. But along with whatever happened, only one song from every band survives. Which Nine Sundays song would survive and help repopulate the earth?
Oh. Gosh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, we got many.
Really my only reference is the new record, because everything else was kind of written before I joined. So I don't know that I'm qualified to answer. And if it's got to be off the new record.
Oh, that's an easy out, isn't it? Easy out. Like I could say "Beautiful Day," but that wouldn't really fit too well if we just in the apocalypse. That was on our last album. So yeah, I don't know.
Same to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got a lot. Same to me. Let the Cold Out. We got a lot of stuff from old albums that we can carry forward to the new albums.
Yeah, it's kind of cool too, because with the new lineup we play songs from 2010, our first album, which was John and I and different members. We play with the new guys, and it's almost as if, to me, I forget that these songs were written then. To me, it's like they're part of the new lineup. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like it's a perfect lineup. I mean, we have what we need right now to move forward. So perfect.
Yeah, it's kind of cool playing the old stuff and not looking back and saying, those were our old songs with different people. We're not gonna visit those times. We didn't, that's not how we were. No, not at all. I think we've gone through them and, used everybody's vote on what songs they like from the old stuff. And yeah, so yeah, definitely something like Same to Me or something like that. A good choice.
So how did the new lineup come together?
John?
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm trying to think of that story too.
Yeah. That's really hard to talk about. We had a problem with the bass player. We replaced him, and then
Final Tap.
Yeah. And then we needed a singer, and Kevin fit the bill perfectly. Perfectly. And then I felt, and this was probably more of my call, I wanted a second guitar player. So we went out and got Rob. So that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, and it was funny when we were auditioning bass players. Justin, our current bass player, he's auditioning, and I hear my phone. I'm sitting in my drum kit, and I hear my phone go off. So I reach over. I'm like, "Who the hell's texting me?" And it's the other guys in the room. And they're like, "Get him! We got to get him now. Don't let's not let him walk out the door." Because we're afraid he's going to find another band or whatever. So it was pretty comical. Everybody just started chuckling, and he had no idea what we were laughing about. So.
Yeah, and I think, hold on, Kev. we made Kevin come in twice to audition. So
Yeah. So I remember I put an ad on Craigslist because I was looking for a band, and I remember getting an email from Justin, who is the bass player, and just asking me to come out and audition. Like, all right, cool, I'll check it out. And then it came out, and I had just gotten over being sick, so my voice wasn't the best. So I was just kind of fighting through the head cold and all that kind of stuff. This was 2018, something like that, 19.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we like the grid a little bit, and then what I said, I wish I could control, and I think that's where I kind of fouled myself up because they wanted me to come back for a second audition after that. But it was
no. We had you back because you seemed angry. Remember, he had an audition, and we didn't realize he was sick, and he was kind of upset, and we were like, let's get this guy back, but he seemed a little angry. Let's see what's going on with that. So we brought him back in. He's like, no, I was sick. And we're like, okay, good.
Yeah.
But then we introduced him to the beer refrigerator. We didn't show him that right off. We waited a couple times then. So we said, hey, that amp behind you, that's an amp behind you. It's really not. Open it up. And it was, it was a refrigerator. So
you have to keep that hidden.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's go off the rails again. If you could sit down with any musician in the history of the world and carry on a conversation with them, who would you want to sit with? And here's the caveat. You are only allowed to ask one question to get the conversation started. So who and what question are you going to ask?
I'll start with that one.
Good.
I would sit down with Ace Frehley, and I would ask him what scales and why when you played those songs way back when with Kiss.
Nice. Perfect.
I was just watching him being live streamed last night. It was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a little rough right now, but back in the day, yeah. Kev?
Yeah, so for me, it probably would be Randy Rhoads. I mean, I started playing guitar because of him, and he was gone far too soon. I think I was 15. He died at 82, something like that. So I was 10 when he died. I would just ask him, like, man, give me the keys, or how do you teach me the way? Something like that. But
yep,
he was ahead of his time and made me want to pick up a guitar, and that's how I got started being in music. It was my first band. I was a guitar player, and I've played guitar, played bass, and now I'm singing. So by far, he's the one musician that stands out in my mind as the best ever.
Well, I'll add to that. Yeah, I know somebody making a Randy Rhoads replica guitar right now, building it from scratch. So good deal. Good stuff.
Well, my first thought would be my I guess middle and high school drummer that I like the most would be Neil Peart, but sitting down to speak to him might not be good, just because I think he's too intellectual for me, and I don't think he would want to talk shop. I have a feeling he would be, discussing a book he just read, so I figured that would be a waste of conversation. So I would actually go back, and I'm still looking forward to doing this, is to meet and talk to Peter Criss, just because he's the reason I started playing the drums. I used to have my bed set up with pillows, and played a live one, like many people have. So, and I think I would just ask him, like, I don't think I'd ask him anything about drumming. I just almost like, tell me, the experience. I mean, that was why I got into music. Of course, so many people saw the flames and explosions and the makeup, and that was just it. From that point on, I was sold. and that's still why I do it today. They know where we practice. I have this framed picture of Peter Criss from, I think it's like Live One, right on the wall, huge. So, was he the greatest drummer in the world? I don't think so, but it didn't matter. I've seen a lot of drummers who are, technically the greatest, but it doesn't like click with me as much. Something about Kiss, man.
None of them sang Beth.
Well, yeah, that's true. But yeah, that's what clicked with me. I saw that and that was it. I was sold.
For the record,
we have a heavy
woman
Kiss influence. So
my wife likes the Eric Singer version of Beth better than the Peter Criss one.
Yeah, well,
I can't.
Yeah.
You got to have the voice cracking.
Yeah, possibly like messing up the words and not paying attention and everything else. So, and Peter Criss never played the piano. He just came out and sat on a stool. And I remember reading, how could we pull this off? This was the era of if you didn't play live on stage, people would throw stuff at you. They'd come out and hit a button, and symphony would play with piano and orchestra, and no one cared. And I'm like, wow, they pulled that off somehow.
So I got to know, were you guys headed to the concert when it got canceled?
Yeah, I was just pulling up to the gate. Me and my wife and my son. Yeah.
And you were right ahead of us. We were on the exit when the firemen told us to turn around and go home.
Yeah, I was coming from 18, coming from the back way to avoid 2230, and I was like, what is going on here? We didn't believe it, so we stayed for about a half hour, about a half mile down the road, pulled over and sat there until we got some official.
We went on Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah.
And back to my brother was staying at a hotel afterwards, so we went and hung out in the parking lot for a little while until we got something official, and then we went home.
Yeah. I'll see you there on the 13th then.
I will be there. My brother will not. They just had a baby. Like she was pushing it being there, but she was there, and now she's not going to get to see it because it got canceled.
Oh.
But
that was actually my son's first concert and John's son's first concert. I think it was at the Mellon Arena.
Yep.
Was it? It was. I don't know which year it was.
It was Kiss.
I just don't remember what year. We were right down next to the stage on the left, and halfway through the show, my son needed to step out for some air. He was kind of scared to death. He was like, but all the explosions and fire. And I guess he figured at this point all concerts were like this. So after that, it was kind of a tough,
The only concert that I could say steps up to that same level, I saw Motley Crue for Carnival of Sin. That one was on that level, but it was weird at the same time. Like, I wouldn't call Kiss weird. Motley Crue was weird. Like,
that was like the freak show.
Yeah,
freak show thing. And I've actually watched that video of that concert many times. It's really enjoyable. Yeah, definitely.
It was the week of Katrina at the pavilion.
Oh, okay.
And it poured, and people were getting ejected because they were starting at the top of the lawn and running and diving and sled riding in the mud. But it was definitely the oddest. It was just odd.
Yeah, definitely.
If you haven't seen it, Google it. Go on YouTube, watch it.
Hopefully, we won't have rain or snow on the 13th of October. So
Let's see. You just jinxed us. It's gonna snow now.
Yeah.
I'm staying. My wife might go to the car. I'm staying.
Oh yeah.
So let's say that Nine Sundays goes out on a tour, and for some reason I tag along, and in between shows, what is the soundtrack going to be while we're traveling?
Oh, that could be ugly. If we're all in the same vehicle, I don't know how we're going to handle that one. think we might have to pull off a family vacation rules. Like each person gets to pick the next one, you know?
Yeah, I imagine there'd be a lot of
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
80s guitar-driven metal.
Yeah.
What?
I
A
agree,
lot of
yeah.
like, head and stuff like that, mixed in with
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Matchbox, Red Hot Chili Pepper, Daughtry.
Maybe throw some AC/DC in,
If
right?
I'm driving,
I have to be careful driving
of
with
course.
AC/DC.
You got it.
I tend to go a little fast when they come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have similar likes, but then when we come down to it, there's some ones we're always like, oh no, and so
Yeah. I mean, come on, we're a heavy rock band. I mean, our influences are metal, Metallica, and bands like that. And so
what I think, what's cool is I've listened to and liked, oh my goodness, everything from, through classic rock, like Elton John when I was little, Kiss, of course, but I mean, I had a big family, so I mean, I listened to so many different types of music, Southern rock, there was a period for that, and then in the Rush, so just like everybody else, you take all that and put it together, and I think it makes you better, well-rounded.
Yeah,
pretty cool. Yeah,
that's a good way of putting it. Perfect.
I think we've got a baseline that we agree more on things, and there's a few things that we will never agree on, right? I mean, there's certain bands that I like that no one else will ever like, and there's certain bands that other people like that we'll just never get there. I mean, it is what it is.
That's kind of how it is in this house.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mentioned Beth earlier. My daughters, who are 11, I can't remember where we were coming home from, and they started singing Beth. It was like, that moment where the sky lights up and the sun comes down on you, and I was like, finally. Like,
definitely.
Yeah.
They're kind of into pop. Not my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's transition a little bit here. So the new album, we're gonna feature a song off of it called "Martyr." This is your MTV moment, and I know you guys. Sometimes I say that, and the band looks at me like, "What are you talking about?" This is where you get to tell me a story about your song.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, there wasn't anything specific behind the inspiration of Martyr, just kind of self-reflective that I've not always lived my life making the best choices. And, somehow I've ended up with an awesome family and I'm in a great place with my relationship and my family and all that stuff. But, Martyr was kind of written out of a place of, it's more of self-reflective. I know I make bad choices. It kind of like reflecting on yourself, saying, "Don't blame me for your own bad choices." If that makes sense. I know it sounds a little heavy, but it's kind of written more about me than anybody else as far as like the relationship goes. I don't want to be my own martyr, right? I want to blame somebody else. Don't blame me, because I've kind of lived my life, got us where we are, right? And it's just about the choices we make, and they don't always feel right when we make them, but they get us to the end of the road, and then here we are. So yeah, and it just was a fun song to write. It was evolved pretty quickly. I think. I don't think it took us a ton of time to write it and get the original concepts down. Really liked how it evolved with the dueling guitars at the end and the heavy lead going out. Really proud of it, honestly.
Yeah, I remember I was walking behind my house one Saturday, doing yard work or whatever, and I said, it'd be cool if we just took that song, we got a new singer, and we just blast in first track on the album with vocals. I said, who's done that? And I said, that's, you never hear that. So I brought it to everybody and said, what do you guys think if we just come in? Because we had an intro that was similar to the verse, it was normal. I said, let's just blast in with vocals, see what it sounds like. And that was awesome.
Yeah.
I
Agreed.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a moment. We're going to listen to that song Martyr by Nine Sundays. I'm also going to throw on a track by Gonto. It's called Dark Memories off the Warrior Soul album. And we will be right back with Nine Sundays. For those of you who are watching live, you do not get to hear either of those tracks right now. You'll have to wait until Friday, which is only 2 days away. So it's not a huge deal. You can go to buildthescene.com. At 6 a.m., the whole show will be available. It will air on Build the Scene's radio station at 8 p.m. It airs on all the stations I mentioned at the beginning at various times throughout the week. I don't have those memorized. So if you go to buildthescene.com/shows/pars, P-A-R-S, all the times and dates are listed. Upcoming guests are there, and all the episodes. From episode 289 to 585 are available on the website. The ones before that were before I realized that some of the stuff that was going on in the living room probably shouldn't be going out. So that stuff's not on the website. There, I just incriminated myself. It wasn't me. All right. So I'm going to bring us back in, and I'll have a couple more questions for you, and ask those two that I told you to be on the lookout for. Okay.
Yep.
Right. Hey, that was Gonto and his song "Dark Memories," and right before that, you heard Nine Sundays, "Martyr." Those gentlemen, three of those gentlemen, happened to be hanging out with me. And if you are just tuning in, that is Kevin, Dave, and John. And you can find them at 9sundays.com. That's the number 9, sundays.com. And we'll let them talk a little bit more about where else you can find things later. But I'm going to ask them a couple more off-the-wall questions. This one gets mixed reviews. It's a newer question that I ask on the show. Please don't read into it literally, because a lot of people do, and then they won't answer it. So Robert Johnston, in the lore of the blues, went away for a year after not being a good guitarist. He came back. All of a sudden, he's this great guitarist, and the rumor was that he met the devil at the crossroads and sold his soul to be able to play guitar. So let's say you're standing at those crossroads and you need something musically. What are you going to sell your soul for to be able to do for your band? And no, I don't mean actually sell it to the devil, but what's that one thing that you want to be able to add?
From my end, just writing lyrics. I can write licks all day, but I can't write lyrics. So that's what I would like to add.
I would want to, I guess, I was almost going to say my wish would be for the devil to be famous in a rock band, forever. Not just a one-hit wonder, but that's not really what I add to the band. I guess I would have to say to be able to write those songs that would make you famous, but to write the hits. But then you got the rock star movie, and I end up in a gutter, and But anyway, it would be a fun trip. It'd be a fun ride while you could.
Yeah, we joked about this in the studio. For me, it'd be to write a song where you can bring in that gigantic gong behind the drums and like
we looked for it. Mhm. We looked for the gong ending.
Yeah, the same kind of thing, man. It'd just be it'd be, hey, give me that magical touch to write that hit and those continual hits. And it's a grind to continue to write songs, and sometimes you get in your own head and you can be your own worst enemy. But if you had that magic gift, it seems like a lot of people have, that'd be awesome.
This next question has kind of like become the official question of the Pennsylvania Rock Show. I decided a while ago that I was going to target Dave Grohl and try and get him onto one of my podcasts, and it's not working, by the way. But I'm going to keep asking the question, and someday someone's going to know him and say, "Hey, I heard this question. You should go talk to this guy." So the Foo Fighters and Dave Grohl are known for bringing people up on stage that, they're down in the crowd holding a sign up, "I want to come play with you," or whatever. So my question is, who is your Dave Grohl? So who would you want to go up on stage with and play one of their songs?
If I had to pick one, it'd be Kiss. My backup would be, I seen Green Day do it, and I think it looks like a lot of fun with them. So I guess that'd be my top two. Rush, I wouldn't want to embarrass myself and make a mistake, and I don't think they would ever invite anyone on stage. So that's my two.
Yeah. I'll be basic. I would love to run around with Angus Young. Just get it done and play the blues.
Yeah. And I guess if I had to stand in for somebody vocally, it probably would be like, I don't know, like Ozzy, somebody like that. But before he started tuning way down, because he's getting older, he can't hit the notes he used to. More of that, range he had back in the 80s, 90s, right? But that'd be pretty cool. And then if Ray was playing guitar, that'd be even better, right? That'd be like a perfect fit.
You had the Ozzy effect on your voice there in a couple first mixes of Martyr. And we backed that off a little bit, but you sound just like him. It was pretty cool.
Yep.
I think I'm going to throw the Diesel Beast question at you. See, some of these questions have names. That's how often they've been asked. Diesel Beast is a band out of Denton, Texas. They're the first band I asked this question to, and it's going to be hard to top their answer. I'll tell you their answer when we get off the air. But the question was, if you could play with any band in any location on the earth, it doesn't even have to be like a normal venue. Like Kiss played in the ocean to the sharks. Metallica played in Antarctica. I mean, it could be anywhere. So what band would you want to play with, and where would you play with them?
Ooh, can I go first?
Yeah.
I would actually like to play with us 9 Sundays, and I'd like to play at the arena. I still call it the arena, but that's always been my laying in bed dream. Pop that.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Yeah, man. That's hard to follow. So yeah. Yeah.
Playing our own songs.
I agree,
too,
100%. I mean,
that'd be cool.
To be out there jamming in that environment, absolutely.
Wow, that's a tough one, man. Immediately, the first thing I thought of when you said that was like Pantera, playing somewhere crazy with Pantera, like in the middle of I don't know, like a ship somewhere. I don't know. Just like
it's not sinking or anything,
like a mosh pit on the ocean, something like that. I don't know. Yeah, that's a great question, by the way.
They all come from somewhere. Like, I'll tell you some of that off the air before. I've told those stories a couple times.
So what was their answer?
Okay, so their answer was they wanted to play with Dio at Stonehenge.
Oh, nice.
And of course I replied, well, maybe that's why Stonehenge is there, so that we can bring Dio back so you can play with him.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a good show.
Let me give you one more of those type of questions. Let me think. I'm putting you all on the spot.
Again.
Oh, wait.
Uh-oh.
So I want to know about an embarrassing moment that happened on stage, but I don't want you to tell me about something that happened to you. I want you to tell me about something that somebody else in the band did that embarrassed you. See, I told you, wait.
Oh, that's a tough one. 'Cause I know of one that I have, and maybe John can remember it, and it would be a great one because it was horrible.
Go ahead, man.
I can't bring it up because it was about me. I'm trying to think
No,
about
I don't
you guys.
remember because I never really had any. I don't remember anything really embarrassing.
I can't think of anything John has done that's been crazy embarrassing. Oh, wait, we have an old bass player. Okay, there's one. Right in the middle of our show, we were playing at the amphitheater at Station Square. And we're up on this huge, biggest stage we've ever played. And I hear someone in the crowd yelling, "Put your shirt on!" And I'm like,
Oh,
who the
God,
hell
yeah.
what is going on? And this guy was, he was hilarious. I look over to my right, and it was, 95 degrees out. It was the most. He took his shirt off completely, and he's playing, and people were yelling at him to put it back on. So to him, it was not embarrassing, but to us, I was like, "Oh, come on, man!" So he was always good for that.
Yeah, he was. Good call. No, man, at this point, I have no complaints whatsoever.
I can give you one
So,
of
I
something
guess-
of me. We were at the Hard Rock, and I forgot how the song went when we started it. So John started his guitar part, and it was time for me to come in, and I went, this was so long ago, we were at the Hard Rock, and my mind went blank, and I just sat there, and then the vocalist came in, and then I was back on track, but that was my worst, blank out moment. That was embarrassing.
I asked that question of a band once, and every member told me a story about the drummer, and it was a different story.
Oh, man.
And he was in the interview.
Yeah. So, Kevin, what's yours? Probably not
So-
with us.
I don't really have any embarrassing stories about anybody. We try to be pretty prepared, so I think we kind of go in with a good headspace. But I've embarrassed myself multiple times. There's most recently we first time we played since the pandemic. We played at this outdoor gig, and I have a wireless mic that I don't use very often. And rookie mistake, I put some batteries in it that were dead, and it was popping the PA, and I couldn't figure out why it was popping, because I just put in batteries, right? But come to find out, I figured it out. It was dead batteries. Pretty simple, but and then there was a gig where we opened we started doing "Breed" by Nirvana, and we opened with that song, and I totally screwed up the whole first half of the song. I don't know if it was nerves or what, but we opened with it, so it was just like a train wreck for the first 2 or 3 songs, and then we kind of got it back on track. But I don't really. I'm kind of focused more on staying in my own lane and making sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, to really catch what anybody else is doing. But and we all try to maintain pretty well, so we don't really have these major things. But I remember some other bands when I had a little too much to drink and fell down on the stage. I was a bass player.
No.
I was young then. Some of the bad decisions I've made in my life. I was dating 2 girls at the same time, and they were both there at that show. So
Yeah, we used to have a singer. Oh, good.
It led to a lot of drinking that night. But anyway,
We used to have a former singer that would turn around to me right before the song, or as the song started, and ask me what the first word of the lyric of the song was. He'd go, "What's the first words? What's the first words?" And I'd be like, "Are you kidding me?" He would do it all the time. Not Kevin, but this other singer. And then, of course, it could be, any song, but I would go like, "I don't remember," because someone's asking you at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be like, "Are you kidding me?" And then afterwards we'd laugh. At the time, I was like, "Don't do that to me. Are you crazy?" So.
I find myself doing that in the classroom right now. I don't know the kids' names yet, so I'll call on one that I know and go, "Now tell me what their name is."
Nice.
Anyway, so where can the listeners find your music? How can they find 9 Sundays online?
Yep.
yeah. So we're available on all major streaming sites: Amazon, Apple Music. I'm sure I'm gonna forget some.
Yeah, Spotify, pretty much everything. I mean, there's I don't know how many that we're on. It's just endless. So, yeah.
Yeah, they can also follow us on our social media sites. We're on Facebook, 9 Sundays, number 9 Sundays, on Twitter at 9 Sundays, and then same thing on Instagram.
And what do you guys have coming up next?
So October 2nd, we have our CD release party at the Hard Rock Cafe in Station Square, right here in Pittsburgh. Tickets are $5, and super excited, ready to rock and roll.
Cool. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me for a little bit tonight.
Well, thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right. For those of you hanging out with us, we're going to play some more of the best unsigned. Let me try that again. We're going to play some of the best unsigned rock and metal that Pennsylvania has to offer. When you hear Mr. John, the American Hill Jack Lane, come on and tell you how to subscribe and leave reviews, you'll know that we are at the end of the show. That does not, however, mean that you should leave the station you're tuned into. All those stations are supporting the local music that we play here on the Pennsylvania Rock Show, so hang out there and show them a little bit of support as well. You can find us on every Friday for new episodes of the PA Rock Show. Our 3 Questions and a Song is the 1st and 15th of each month. And once a month, we are live on xrpradio.co.uk, which happens to be this Saturday. If you're not doing anything at 3 p.m., you can tune in and listen to our Friendly Fire, where Jonna from First Angel Media and I go. We take music from the tri-state area here, and we put it up against the European playlist that XRP Radio has, and everybody in the chat room discusses the songs, and we usually lose because the Americans aren't there voting. It's all Europeans in the chat room. And I blame it on the fact that they're keeping the scoreboard so that it's impossible for us to win.
That's true. That's true.
But it's a lot of fun. You get to hear music that you would not normally hear from the United Kingdom and Europe as a whole. Anytime we play metal, they bring in the Swedish metal up against us. But so, you find all that by going to buildthescene.com. Make sure you check out 9 Sundays at 9sundays.com. That's the number 9sundays.com. And we will catch you next week.